What's up, guys? We are back again taking another look at the Mattel Matty Collector Club Grayskull line for Masters of the Universe Classics, and we are going to take a look at the subscription exclusive figure today, Evil Seed. And to start things off, we're going to do packaging real quick, so we'll pull them aside here just a sec. So this is the same kind of box we've seen with the slipcover with the Castle Grayskull jaw bridge. We got some windows at the top. The back has the He-Man logo. We've got our slipcover, pop that off. We got our window with the logo, character name. We've got a Filmation style drawing of Evil Seed. This is obviously not from the cartoon, and then a write-up of the show itself. So let's jump right in and take a look at our figure. All right, so here's Evil Seed, and like I said, this is the subscription exclusive figure for the Club Grayskull line. He came out at the same time that Beastman did, so that's why I'm doing him now, since I'm working backwards through this line. This is obviously the Filmation look. That's what this line is for. He is pretty much a dead ringer for his look in the show. I think they really nailed it. I think my figure might have turned out a bit better than some of the others I've seen. I saw a lot of people having issues with paint apps on the eyes specifically, and I think mine turned out really well. So I'm overall, to start off with, very pleased with the way this figure looks. I really like Evil Seed as a character too. I love the episodes he's from. One of my favorites in the entirety of Masters of the Universe. So I'm kind of partial to the character, and thankfully they killed this figure in terms of its overall look. There is another Evil Seed figure in the regular Motu Classics line, but he's based on the 2000X MYP cartoon, so they don't look anything alike, and they might as well not even be the same character. And they really aren't in terms of how they interpreted him. So let's take a quick look at him. There's honestly not tons and tons to talk about with the figure itself because of what he is and how he is. He's kind of limited, but it's okay. So we'll take a quick look at the sculpt first. So the big thing is obviously this head. He looks like an artichoke basically, and I think they did a really good job to get that look down. We've got the different kind of petals on the head, and then there's a lot of shading in the paint. It starts darker and it works its way down to a lighter green. It's not very light, but it is lighter at the base of the crown, I guess. We've got those sunken yellow eyes with black pupils. Mine are very centered, very straight. Got some light, kind of off-whitish green mixed type color on the, what I guess you'd call the nose and the mouth. And then he's got those gnarly white teeth and his sort of beard. So I think they really killed that look. Very good, very accurate to the show. We've got kind of the robe look that he's got here with a nice folded hood. This is all attached. You can't really take this off. This is the figure, basically. And then we've got these kind of oversized hands. They're a little bigger than what you'd kind of expect for a figure of this size, but I think they work well, and they look really good on this guy. The only other thing to really talk about, because the majority of the figure is this robe, are these feet. So in the show, he's kind of like a mass of tendrils at the feet, and they just sort of made his legs go into that kind of shape. So there are actual legs up in here, but you can't really do anything with them. They're not going to go anywhere. He really just stands like this, which is okay. He's like a sorcerer type character. He's not an action character, so you're not going to be posing him anyway. But they've got a bunch of these little tendrils that kind of splay out into a foot type shape. It's not actually a foot, but it works as feet. So I think that design is really cool, and I like the way it looks, and it keeps him sturdy, and he doesn't really go anywhere, so that's cool. Overall, I think they really did a good job with the sculpt on this guy. As far as paint goes, the robes are brown. That's pretty much what you're going to get. The vines are green. The hands match the nose and mouth area in terms of that light gray, white, green, bluish mix they've got going on. And then we've got the different shades of green on the neck and the face and the artichoke head. And like I said, the yellow in the eyes and the black. And that was one of the big points of contention with a lot of people, was these eyes. Mine turned out really well, but I know there was a lot of folks who had issues with there being all over the place. One looking up, one looking down. It was kind of par for the course with Matty Collector in this particular series. So I think I lucked out in that regard. As far as articulation, he is very limited, but again, that's just inherent to the design of the figure, so I can't fault it in that regard. And you're not going to be posing him in any crazy ways anyway, so it doesn't matter. His head can swivel, can look up and down. Not a great range of motion, but enough. Arms can go up and out. He does not have a bicep swivel. He has a single jointed elbow, and then his wrists are on just a peg that rotates. There is no real, it does wobble, but it's not really an articulation point. The legs do move in the sense that there is a joint up in there, but they're obviously hindered by the design, so he can't really do anything. You could spin him just a little bit to get him into a little bit of a different, like that's, he's kind of walking, but for the most part, they just stand still. So there's not a whole lot of articulation going on with this guy, but at the same time, he's not meant to really be posed in any other way than just sort of standing still. So for what he is executed pretty nicely. So let's take a look at the accessories he comes with, because he has two, and I'm pretty jazzed to talk about both of them. I like what they did here. All right, so accessory 1 of 2, we've got this kind of mess of vines that he can shoot out of his hand, and he doesn't really hold on to it. His fingers actually fit into holes inside the item itself. Let me pop it off and you can see better. So there are holes here that his hand fits on. And we saw something similar with the Evil Lynn figure. If you caught that review, her cordite crystal has something similar to this. And it's a kind of rubbery, gummy plastic. It's all green. There's no real paint or shading on it. But it fits really well into his hand. You just pop it in there and it stays. My only real concern with this thing is that over time, because it's not light, but it's not heavy, is that over time it might weaken the joints in the arm, because if you're going to display it like this for any length of time, it's just going to put more strain on that joint. It may not be an issue, but it's something that I have thought about. The other accessory he comes with is this. So we've got, it's like a wrap of vines that you can put on another character, say He-Man. It's the same kind of material. It's gummy. It's not very stretchy, and my only real problem with this is that because of the fact that it doesn't stretch all that much, it can be kind of hard to get it on another figure. So much so that I'm not actually going to do it on camera, but I will show you what this looks like on He-Man right now. So here's what it looks like when it's on He-Man. And I think it really is meant entirely for He-Man, because it actually has a bit of a indentation on one side for his sword sheath. So while you could put it on other characters, I think this is ultimately the intention, because, they fought in the episode. Evil Seed's not one of Skeletor's minions. He's a one-off villain that really didn't care for either He-Man or Skeletor. But I really like this idea of an accessory. I don't display it like this. I mean, I'm not going to use my He-Man as fodder for Evil Seed, but it's a cool idea. It's a cool little play feature, and it's just a nice different accessory that kind of emphasizes the episode and what Evil Seed can do. And it's just cool. I like the idea of being able to wrap He-Man or another figure and make him Evil Seed's prisoner. So just something cool to add. So overall, I think I am far more pleased with this figure than I thought I was going to be initially. I am a big fan of the episode, so maybe I'm a little bit biased in that regard, but I think as a figure, he's pretty cool. He doesn't have a lot in terms of articulation, and there is a lot missing in terms of sculpt because he's hidden by those robes, but this is the character. He looks this way in the show, and they executed it really well. Paint on my figure's really solid. I like the two accessories. He's a cool figure. What else could you ask for here? So that's going to do it for this review, everyone. As always, stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and that whole deal. And until next time, everyone.